Looks like they're going to be doing Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes 2 for the lightweight title in the PFL on October 4th in Dubai. Their first fight was a classic back and forth fight, very close. It was awarded to Usman Nurmagomedov, something Paul Hughes should have taken it. Obviously, Paul Hughes did. And he wanted a rematch and he got it. Looks like he's got it October 4th in Abu Dhabi, which is a beautiful backdrop for fights. Some of the promo videos that they did for that fight were extremely aesthetically pleasing. Khabib Nurmagomedov says that Islam Makhachev will be taking on Jack Della Maddalena in November. So that's probably UFC 322, probably November 8th at Madison Square Garden in New York City. New York is the location in November that the UFC likes to go to for pay-per-views. Fan sentiment, people look at this as a challenging fight for Islam Makhachev. Some argue it could be his toughest fight yet, but the odds do favor Makhachev. However, JDM is seen as a guy with viable tools for victory. His takedown D looked great against Bilal Muhammad. His ability to get back up when taken down looked great. His striking is always tremendous, and he showed he has tremendous heart in that fight as well. He went 5 rounds with Bilal Muhammad, who pushed us an incredible pace, and in round 5, JDM was actually winning that fight. He took that round, and he took the fight. So his stock rose so much higher after that victory. So 322 Makhachev, Maddalena probably, 319 DDP Hamzat, 320 Ankalaev Pereira, 321 Aspinall Gane. Fight I'm looking forward to most probably DDP versus Hamzat, then Makhachev, Maddalena, then Aspinall Gane, then Ankalaev versus Pereira 2. Not that it's a bad fight, it's a great fight, but we already saw it recently, so the curiosity about it is lacking a little bit. There was 2 fight of the nights over the weekend. One was Brenner versus Ribovics, and the other one was Rubeski versus Duncan. Brenner versus Ribovics was a great fight, but it was a little bit more one-sided in the favor of Ribovics, who had control for most of the fight. But Brenner is extremely tough. Most guys would have been taken out by the shots that he was taking, and Rubeski versus Duncan was closer. Probably came down to round 3, and Duncan ended up winning a decision in that one. So those guys went to war. They are teammates, so they already had respect for each other, but now it's like they have an infinite amount of more respect for one another after that war. People like the card. One of the best cards I've seen. Fight nights remain undefeated. Respect to Rubeski. Apex cards delivering more than pay-per-view cards. Thank you to the fighters. I love Apex fights. We can hear everything so much clearly. Apex really brings something out of these fighters. And what we're all saying about this card, Esteban, fight of the night, Ribovics. Yeah, Ribovics has been in a lot of great fights, as has Rubeski. Both those guys are putting on some crazy fights. And Chris Duncan continually proves people wrong as an underdog. He has 3 wins in a row over Rubeski, Vucenic, and Oki. Against Rubeski is a plus 195 underdog. Against Vucenic, plus 245. Against Bolaji Oki, plus 155. And he ended up choking him out with the gilly. After Chris Duncan weighed in at 156 pounds, by the nighttime, he was around 188 pounds, gaining about 32 pounds in a few hours for his fight with Rubeski. The UFC event over the weekend was the 3rd event in UFC history with 2 body kick finishes. Pulayev got the body kick win over Nick Klein, and Rinya Nakamura got the body kick win over Nathan Fletcher.
It goes deeply, and then I felt his liver, and then but you know, sometimes the guy pretending that it damaged, big damage, but I a little bit thinking, can I go or not? But my corners say that go, just go. So I decided to go. A little bit nervous because I don't want to make 2 strikes lose. So that makes gave me the pleasure a little bit more. But you know, after the silence of my first losses in MMA career, I was talking to myself, what are you gonna do in your life? What are you gonna achieve in your life? And then I decided to move to Florida to train American Top Team, and then they makes me believe in me myself. So I always try to believe in myself, but in another aspect, I always doubt in myself. So but team on ATT guys makes me believe in myself. So that was a huge power for me.
Thad Jean is a new PFL welterweight tournament winner after his victory over Logan Storley. 5-round decision victory. So that's his title. He is 27 years old, undefeated at 11-0. Former UFC heavyweight Jamal Pogues will be fighting on August 23rd. He is taking on Davion Franklin at the Tough Enough show. Tough Enough 147. Davion Franklin is 6-3. Jamal Pogues is 11-5. His last fight was in the UFC in February. He lost to Hamdi Abdel Wahab by decision. Many thought that he should have been awarded the decision, but he was not. and he was cut by the UFC, so now he's fighting in Tough Enough 147 on the 23rd of this month. Kevin Vallejo's enjoying a lot of food after his victory over Danny Silva. He had an impressive performance decision win, 16-1 record, just 23 years old, so he has a very bright future at 145. Fighters who have spent the least amount of time in the bottom position in MMA: 1 second for Tom Aspinall, 5 seconds for Felipe Lins, and 6 seconds for Khamzat Chimaev. We'll see if that changes against DDP later this month. It might be very tough early, but maybe if Khamzat slows down later on, DDP can get on top. We shall see at UFC 319. Former UFC fighter Zach Pauga says, while not the case in Nevada, in California, when your opponent misses weight, the California Commission keeps half of the fine. So they basically bribe the state to let them miss weight. Not the case in Kansas, however. When my opponent missed weight, she was fined 20%, and I got all of it, is what Jillian DeCourcy says. And apparently Nevada operates differently too. 100% of the fine goes to the fighter. Missed weight fines are capped at 25% at Nevada, no matter how much amount of weight is missed. That's good to hear. That's how it is in Vegas. California and Florida are not that way, is what Pauga says. Pauga just fought in Florida. He fought in Karate Combat, their 8-man tournament, and he was stopped by Robles de Spain, who ended up winning the whole tournament. Dana White's Contender Series returns next Tuesday, August 12th. One of the fighters on the card is Chris Ewart, who was on the UFC roster for a few days. Recently, he took a short notice fight against Jackson McVeigh, but he botched his weight cut, so he couldn't take the fight. So now he's going to have to fight to get into the UFC. That will be the first fight of Dana White's Contender Series season. This season, he will be taking on Yuri Panfarov in a middleweight bout. With his win over the weekend over Zaleski dos Santos, now Neil Magny is second place for most wins in UFC history, tied with Arlovsky, Holloway, Oliveira, and Cerrone with 23. Magny got the win, got his black belt at the post-fight press conference, and a birthday cake. He turned 38.
Hopefully it's a sigh of relief. I mean, it's been a while since I saw myself on losing side of dropping 2 fights in a row. I mean, I haven't done that since 2013, so it's been a walk from this fight victorious tonight. Definitely can appreciate that and be fortunate for that. Just kind of like taking accountability from the last couple of fights and just kind of hold myself at a higher standard, hold myself being more accountable. Just kind of address the issues and things that took place where it led me to be at a point I dropped 2 fights in a row. So for me, coming this fight, it was all about the focus, all about the mental prep. Yeah, definitely surprised me. I mean, in all of his fights, you never once seen him go that hard for offensive takedowns, and he decided tonight to go for the clinch, go for the wrestling. I was like anticipating, like, all right, cool. He's gonna clinch and throw a knee. He's gonna clinch and throw an elbow. The strike is gonna come at some point, but he kept pushing the grab. I was like, this isn't weird. I was kind of chasing the Darcy. He did a good job of posturing up, get out of it. So I immediately just kind of chained things together. I was able to land a couple of knees to kind of get him going. Once he drops to the ground, just kind of chase the back. Honestly, I was just in there adjusting moment by moment. Like I said, I didn't anticipate his grappling coming out that offensive at all, but just have the depth to it. Just trust my coaches, trust my training, trust my preparation, and just kind of be ready for whatever came towards me. And sure enough, it was that. I mean, I was definitely expecting the spinning wheel kicks and all that crazy stuff to come, and he decided to grapple more. So I was like, I mean, right now, I'm literally turning 38 in about 3 hours from now. So for now, it's just kind of like not wasting time, staying active, staying focused, and see what we can get done here. I mean, at this point, being 13 years in UFC, I've realized it's probably less years ahead of me compared to behind me. So go out there and make the most of it at this point.